Chapter 4. The Blood Wedding. Lira, it's been 22 days since I moved into Nico Vitale's estate. 22 days since my father handed me over like a perfectly packaged solution. Since I stopped being Lira D'Angelo and started being something else. Something colder, sharper, harder to trace. We haven't touched in private, not in passing, not even by accident. I have my own bedroom at the end of the hall, no shared bed, not that I expected it, nothing. A few quiet shared meals in the overly large dining hall, and a couple of subtle head nods in passing for morning coffee in the kitchen. And yet we've stood next to each other a dozen times for photographs, laughed at the same jokes for reporters, and toasted at 2 joint family dinners like a couple raised on privilege and shared ambition. It's performance, seamless, calculated. He opens doors, I wear the ring. We touch hands in front of allies and sit close in council meetings. Our story is airtight, a long simmering alliance finally made official. But behind closed doors, Nico doesn't speak unless he has to. He watches, he listens, and every time I think I might have a read on him, he proves otherwise. The house is too quiet. Even the staff avoids eye contact. Everything about being here feels like walking into a test I'm not supposed to pass. Just survive. The announcement came 2 days after I moved in. A photo shoot in the marble garden, my black dress, his dark gray suit. Our bodies angled like a couple, but just far enough apart that it's hard to tell who's chasing who. A statement of unity, the caption read. A future built from blood and balance. The council loved it. The rivals believed it. And behind the scenes, I watched the balance of powers start to shift. Slowly, quietly, but unmistakably. It made them nervous. That was the point. Now I sit on the edge of the bed the morning of the wedding, staring at my reflection. My dress isn't white. I told the designer I wanted black, matte silk, corseted, sleeveless, with a slit high enough to show I don't need approval to take up space. The mirror reflects something I barely recognize. A woman with steel in her spine and ruin in her eyes. This isn't a love story. It's a spectacle. The ceremony is held behind the estate under an old stone arch. The sky is bruised gold, the guests are dressed like royalty and armed like soldiers. Nico waits for me at the altar, impassive. My father walks me down the aisle. He doesn't say a word, not even a whisper. Just hands me off like something signed and sealed. The priest is a cold man with a warm voice, reading Latin from a book I doubt he believes in. There are no personal vows, just signatures, nods, and silence from a crowd too busy measuring their own leverage to clap. When the moment comes, Nico reaches for me. His hand closes lightly around mine. He brings it to his chest, not romantic, but symbolic. Then he kisses me, not deep, not long, but long enough to mean something to everyone watching. Long enough to make me forget for half a second that it's fake. The ballroom is already buzzing by the time we arrive. I walk in on Nico's arm, my other hand resting lightly on his forearm. We move in unison. A show, a power couple, sculpted from smoke and legacy. He pulls out my chair, refills my glass, smiles just enough to make the performance believable. At one point, he leans in to whisper something near my ear, something no one else can hear. And though the words don't matter, the angle of his body does. The whole room sees it, and more importantly, believes it. I'm speaking with one of Nico's lieutenants near the bar when Domenico Salvi finally slinks into view. Domenico always times his entrances like he's still relevant, like the room should stop when he walks in. His eyes drag over me. He smiles.
Signora Vitale,
He says, lifting his drink.
Congratulations! You were ambitioned beautifully.
I don't smile back. Salvi, surprised you got past the guest list. He steps closer.
You know there was a time you would have spat on a man like Nico.
There was a time your family mattered, I reply. Things change. His grin fades just slightly.
I hope he knows who he married.
He knows enough not to let his wife be cornered by men who talk like corpses. Domenico's hand brushes against the table near mine. Close, but not touching. And that's when Nico arrives. He's at my side in a flash, one hand resting at the small of my back, the other taking my drink as if he's always been there.
Domenico,
He says, low and pleasant.
you've overstayed your welcome.
Domenico scoffs.
Just offering my regards.
She already accepted them.
Nico replies, eyes steady.
Before you got the chance to ruin them.
The words hang heavy. Nico steps just slightly in front of me. I feel the tension through his frame, not rage, but control stretched to its edge. Domenico blinks, then backs off with a muttered apology. When he's gone, Nico turns back to me.
You could have handled him.
He says quietly. But you wanted to, I reply. His eyes narrow, just slightly.
He doesn't talk to what's mine.
I don't answer. I don't need to. We stay close for the rest of the evening. By the time the reception winds down, we've posed for dozens of photos, danced once, and exchanged just enough looks to convince the room this marriage is real. And maybe that's the problem. It's starting to feel like it is.
Stay tuned for Chapter 5 of The Rose and the Blade. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more stories.